The next question is about how much energy we have and the trials and tribulations of feeling exhausted all the time. If you remember back to my video number 4, where I talked about how we seem to have a 6-month reserve of emotional energy, and that once it gets run down, our unconscious begins to sabotage us. Okay, and much of what I've been teaching you is to worry less, to take things less personally, to stop doing the things you don't want to do, to speak your mind more openly, to put yourself first, to rest more, to sleep more, to stop doing drama, to stop getting caught up in everybody else's drama, and to stop fighting life. Why? Because it takes almost no energy to forgive and to let go, but it's exhausting to be angry, controlling, or frustrated. It takes almost no energy to accept, but it takes loads of energy to argue or to discuss a point and try and get your own way. It takes a lot of energy to doubt everything, and almost no energy to just trust yourself and trust others and trust life in general. It takes lots of energy when you're looking externally for validation from others, and almost no energy to learn to just be nice to yourself, to self-validate. You could say you become your own cheerleader, you become your own biggest fan, Go on, John, you can do this, you're the best, okay? It takes no energy. The unconscious might not believe it, but consciously you can believe it, and with repetition, the unconscious slowly begins to believe it. It's programmable. And these attitudes, they'll help you to use less energy every day. But remember, you still need to make up that 6-month deficit. You still need to recharge the deficit of your emotional energy battery, okay? And so often what happens is a person starts doing this work, and then suddenly they feel a bit better, okay? And then they stop doing this work, dive back into life the same old way that they used to do it, and then just within a few months, all the anxiety returns. Yes, of course, because you haven't fully recharged the battery, and you haven't become that new person who lives life and looks at life very differently. Therefore, my advice, my suggestions for you is when you get those little breakthroughs and you feel a tiny bit better, that's the time that you should apply yourself even more deeply into this course or any other course, okay, that will allow you to understand yourself better, to let go of stress and to see life differently. And secondly, as you do this work and you begin to feel a bit calmer, what usually happens is a relapse. Well, it's not a relapse. It's the massive dawning upon you that your life needs to be different, that you need to change things, okay? Shake things up a bit, end something, start something. And this can be daunting, but equally it can be exciting. As Caroline Myss says, she said you could go ooh, or you could go ah, okay? And I'm trying to suggest you start looking at life and go ooh, ah, less of the ooh and more of the ah. That's interesting. And this is why I'm such a big believer in a person consciously choosing what attitude they wish to adopt as they move forward, regardless of their past conditioning. To say this is daunting, which is an ooh kind of thing, okay, is very different to say, well, this is exciting, ooh, which is an ah thing. They're very opposing stories. One pulls you back from, and the other orientates you towards. Then the word motivation. This seems to arrive. People seem to think that motivation is a real thing, but it's not. It's just a word. Better words might be needs or desires or circumstances, kind of words like that. If you were starving, you wouldn't need the motivation to go out and find food. You would just take action even though you were hungry, tired and had no energy. If your life is crap, then it is from this crap, tired, resourceless point that you will start your journey. And if you're waiting until you feel better, until you have motivation, then this is just an anxiety or a depression trap. You could say it's unconscious sabotage in action. Oh, when the motivation comes, then I'll do that thing. Or you could use motivation just to say, it's a mindset. I don't want this anymore. I've had enough of this. That's a mindset. That's an attitude. It's a decision more than a feeling. I'm deciding to make changes regardless of how I feel right now of how tired I am right now or how scared I am right now. I will do the work right now, okay, and the rewards will follow, okay. I'm making a better life for me now, okay, for the future me to enjoy, regardless how I feel at the moment, and even if there's no motivation. I've said this before. I read somewhere that the phrase, don't wait for motivation because activity generates motivation. I found that statement to be profoundly true, and it's worked very well for me over the years. Now, I'm not stupid. I've been in places I thought I would never recover from. It's not easy, okay? Sometimes you almost have to say, fuck it, this is not for me, this is not what I want, And though I don't know what I do want, I do know that I don't want this, And so often it's from exhaustion that your journey will have to start. There's no other way. But a funny thing happens, is the energy available to you from positivity and taking action is far greater than from negativity, okay? The energy from self-respect or self-love, it seems to be far more comprehensive than the energy from fear. It's like a luminous energy from having an intention, a goal, a dream, a desire, is very different to the massive volumes of energy required to remain stuck, okay, in fear and doom and gloom and depression and drama. Those states, they suck the life out of you and the life of the people around you. And for some people, you may need to ask yourself, am I actually doing too much? Am I working too hard? Am I doing the job of 3 people? Is my exhaustion actually valid? Okay, and if this is you, well then something's going to have to change before your health makes that decision for you. Know this: where your attention goes, energy flows. We awaken that with which we energize with our attention. Are you fueling something that keeps you stuck, okay? Or are you fueling something that takes your life forward with your intentions and your stories about it? Now, I'll be making some videos about how we can consciously become aware of how much energy we have, how much energy we want to keep in reserve, and how much energy we're prepared to use each day, and how we might hold some energy back to recharge our emotional battery, okay, so that we have a full 6-month buffer tank of emotional energy, so we can more easily weather life's ups and downs without crashing out as we move forward through our lives.